Good day all. It is 6 p.m. on the 1st of July 2025. So they tell us. This is the Self-Preservation Society, or Truth and Awareness, on YouTube, on Bazzzilll, Broadcasting Truth and Therapy, BBTT. Here I am using the talking stick. I don't actually know what the title's going to be at the moment, but I'm going to be talking about current events. Glastonbury and whatever, and maybe a couple of other things. I'll see how I go as we go on. But for those of you that listen to me on BitChute, I repeat, I cannot interact with you, but my email address is there in the description box for you and anybody else, whatever platform you listen on. There's loads of other links in the description box. Take time to have a look at them. That fella at Glastonbury. I stand in honour of his intention. I stand with humble respect of his intention. The people he was facing, not so much. The people that joined in with him in the crowd, I don't know how many thousands of people were there. But if they got together and didn't just do it there, if those people got together, we maybe all join them. It reminds me of that story. It's not a story. Fact, that bloke from the travelling community a few years back when he called on 100,000 men who were willing to potentially lay down their life for their families and their countries by storming Parliament. It reminded me of that. For oh so many different reasons. But that bloke who stood on that on that stage with that mic and got the crowd chanting this, that and the other along with him, I respect and admire him so much because he's put himself right out there. They haven't, unless they take up the sword and storm Parliament, the civil service and everything else. Look at that meme on the left. Look at that meme on the right. And I stand here I'm sitting actually. I sit here on my sofa with all good intention, with all integrity, with all humility, and I say to the world, you're all wrong. You're all fucking wrong. Because what comes first for most people is their family, their loved ones, their friends, then their country. It's not their country. It's not your country. The earth is your world. It's been subdivided up by different people for different reasons over millennia since man first stepped foot out of Africa, if you want to use that analogy, and laid claim to it, and then somebody bigger with a lot more friends has come along, and then it's grown and evolved. And now the evidence is there for those that have the cognitive abilities to look at it. 13 families. I'm just talking about in the physical here. 13 families. Council of 300. I couldn't begin to count how many non-government organisations before it gets to your government. Your government that you vote for, your leaders, they're way down the list. Well, your government is. The leaders, as our particular leader, Keir Starmer, has said his allegiance is with Davros. It's not with Britain. It's not with England. It's not with the UK. It's with Davros, first and foremost. Donald Trump's allegiance is with Israel and the Zionists. It's all a big show. And until you can say, fuck the flags, I'm not proud of being British at all. I'm proud to be an earthling. I'm not proud to be English. When I see historically what the British and the English have done around the world at the behest of their masters, and all the slaves have gone toddling off, taking the king's shilling, this, that, and the other, same whatever country you want to look at, until you can see yourself or see the world as one and stand with your brothers and sisters, nothing will ever change. You'll always be dancing to the tune of your masters, fighting against so-called immigrants, aliens, this, that, and the other. There are no aliens on Earth. If you are born of the earth, you are not an alien. You are a man. You were born a man or a woman, and then you become a human being. You came here, not all of us, but the vast majority came here on a sole mission to have a spiritual experience in a carbon-based unit body avatar. The main function of that sole mission is to remember who you are. But you're so focused on the external events around the world, you pay no attention to you, to going within, to remembering who you are. Absolutely none at all. Otherwise, I wouldn't have the need to say this. You, with all your demigods, thinking somebody outside of you is going to save you. You know, a truther, a medium, a psychic, a politician, a sports star. Don't tell me you're awake. Don't lay claim to be awake. If you go and cancel your BBC subscription and get rid of your telly, then maybe we can talk. That bloke has put himself right out there, and they will come down on him like a ton of bricks, and then you'll forget about him because it doesn't involve you, like Palestine doesn't involve you, the Yemen, Sudan, Syria, all the other places around the world, Afghanistan, Libya, all these places, doesn't involve you. I'm all right, Jack. I don't want these immigrants coming across our borders, coming across in their boats. You'll fight them, but you haven't got the balls, the why or wherefore, to stand up and see how you're being played by your corporate and political masters. There is good news, though. There is good news, and I make no bones about this. Remember, some of you might not have heard of James Whale. Self-opinionated, arrogant, arse-kicking bastard. that has a platform on radio in Britain and has done for years, and called those like me out, told them to go to hell because they wouldn't get a jab. He's got cancer. I don't wish ill on anyone, but everyone's got to learn a lesson. Everyone has to learn a lesson. And James Whale, that's the mother of all lessons that you're going to learn. You reap what you sow, like we all do. I hope you enjoy your harvest. But more than that, I hope you have a look at your harvest and see what you have reaped. And perhaps you may change. Some more good news. For me anyway, this is personal. Because you've heard me recently talking about Native Americans at powwows, this, that and the other, in the uniform of their ancestors' oppressors and turning native and stuff like that. I'm quite outspoken, but I see the truth for what it is. And I speak the truth. Even if my voice shakes. It's a Native American proverb. I've been empowered and so enlightened today, humbly so, by seeing somebody that I owe much to. I haven't spoken to him for years. I met him in the powwow movement in this country from 1989. We've both changed over the years. We've both changed, and we don't talk anymore. But now and again I pop on his page because I like to know that he's all right and still going and whatever. I might not agree with him, but I like to know he's still going. His name is Keith Lord. And today I looked on his page to see that he'd wrote a post about blocking a Native American friend of his who was standing up for Israel. Can you believe that, people? This Native American bloke is actually standing up for Israel. His people got genocided, up to 100 million of them, it is estimated. And he's speaking up for Israel. Keith Lord, I don't know if you're going to hear this. I don't know if anybody hears this and passes it on to you. But you, sir, have my total and utmost respect for doing that. That's the Keith Lord that I first met and first knew and learnt so much from. I bow my head to you. Going onward. All wars are bankers' wars. You have no conceptual idea, most of you, because I know I don't. But I have an awareness of how deep and far-reaching this is. And it's not just today. It's not just today that you're becoming aware of it. You go back to Albert Pike. You go back to 1776 when the so-called Illuminati was formed. It was just the Emperor's new clothes. It's been going on long before that. The same rape and pillaging of different areas of the earth that we call countries by other countries. And it will continue. It will fucking continue until you drop your ignorance, your ego, your fear about your fellow man. Is a Native American quote for you from Chief Dan George. He starred in the film Little Big Man, played a brilliant part in that. But he had some great philosophy to share, great knowledge and wisdom and awareness. And he said, if you fear the animals, talk to them. If you talk to them, you will understand them. If you understand them, you will not fear them. And he was a Cheyenne, I believe. But at the end of a Lakota prayer, they say, Mitakwe Oyasin. We are all related. We are all relatives. And they don't just talk about, the fellow human beings. They talk about all the two-leggeds, all the four-leggeds, all the winged, all that crawl upon the earth, burrow under the earth, swim in the seas, fly in the sky, the standing nation, plants, the rock nations, the mineral nations. We're all connected. 9% of your DNA is shared with a banana. I find that really funny, because most of us are as bent as fucking arseholes. Rare will you find a man or a woman. No, rare will you find a human being that stands straight with integrity and honour. And when you do, you mock them, deride them and ridicule them because you don't understand them. Whatever their skin colour, whatever their sexual orientation, whatever their religion, they're as fucked up as you, as me, as we all are. We're all fucked up. Some of us know it, and some of us try to do something about it. And I speak of myself, not just to understand that which I am, but to share that knowledge, that awareness, so we may all know it. Everything I do for you to empower, enlighten and enable. I'm not asking for 30 pieces of silver. Cross my palm with silver. I'm not selling my soul, rather, for 30 pieces of silver. I do what I do because it's the right thing to do, and I do it for the right reasons. Not for greed, not for recognition, because you don't know who I am. You just hear my voice. But look at that meme there. The ones that carry the light and know it. That's me. I am the light, Lucy, Luci, and I am the way. And if we can all say that with humility, with integrity, with a sense of morality, we could go and fight our own demons and then recognise and fight those demons outside of us that have us fighting each other as human beings, because we're not man enough to understand and know that which we are here. That fella that sung that song, I'm Only Human After All, it was great. It was great. But it's so short-sighted. You are born a man or a woman, and then you become human. The system makes you human. When you learn and seek to understand what I'm trying to say there, you'll make a difference, not only to yourself, but to the world. To the world. I must just mention this. Down my cousins. My cousin just lost his wife. It's her funeral tomorrow at 10 o'clock, British summertime. And I would ask you, if you can, send a thought out to my cousin, Stuart, and his 3 children tomorrow. Louise, Zoe and Billy. At 10 o'clock. She was only 61. But he's had some friends down. to support him from up the northeast. And we got into a conversation yesterday. And Lee, it was so nice. So nice for me, and you, Tracy, to find somebody that I could relate to and who could relate to me. We had a very deep, meaningful conversation about things and whatever, how the world's run, this, that, and the other. And, it was so empowering. But while we were sitting there, out the back, doing this, Stuart, my cousin, and his daughter were inside. And you can imagine, lots of paperwork, this, that, and the other. What he was trying to do, he'd phoned Sky up, Sky Television. And it was in Jackie's name, his wife's name, and he's trying to change it. And do you know what the bloke said on the other end of the phone? Not once, not twice, not 3 times, not 4 times, but 5 times he said to Stuart, after Stuart had told him that she'd passed, deceased, 5 times he said, before I can move forward, I've got to talk to Jackie. 5 times he said that, when Stuart repeatedly told him that she's deceased, passed away. That's the mentality of human beings. That is the matrix of control over the mind, human beings. Because they're not aware to the conscious self. They're operating within the program, the system. That's artificial intelligence. That's what human beings are. AI ain't really new. That's human beings are artificial intelligence. You're indoctrinated into a system, school, work, etc., news. Turn your fucking tellies off. Every single one of you that were chanting with that bloke at Glastonbury should turn your tellies off. Chuck them away, get rid of your BBC licence, and everybody else should do that. Here in the UK and throughout the world. If that doesn't prove to you, and all the outfall from it, how television controls your mindset, nothing ever will. Nothing ever will. I don't know. It's been a week since I've done one of these. What I really wanted to talk about was trying to explain to you the difference between Lucifer and Satan. Lucifer means light and way, codes, knowledge, whatever you want. Satan tempted Jesus. Jesus, this figure called Jesus, whether you accept he lived or not, is irrespective. It's the teaching that goes with it that we should learn from. He said no to Satan, and then he said, I am the light, Lucifer. I am the way, Fur. I am Venus, the morning star. Now, on another level, that story was replicated, not replicated, but it happened 2,160 years before Christ was born. And again, 2,160 years before that, 16 or 17 times. It's the same story, trying to wake us up from a sleep we don't even know we're in. We don't even know we're in. And, you know, it frustrates me so much when, you know, people do not know, do not want to know, can't be bothered to understand the difference between Satan and Lucifer. the light and the dark, the yin and the yang. Complete and utter opposites, because so many of you are walking around in the shadows, blinded by your own light, much less any light outside of you. Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk to you again. That's what I feel like every time I'm doing this. I feel like I'm talking to darkness, and I'm not talking down to you. I'm trying to shine a light and illumine your path, illumine your soul, so you can see that there is more to you than this physical body or the spiritual aspect of that mirror image of that physical body. There's so much more to you than that. There's so much more to all of us. And if we woke up to that, which is that which they fear, we would change everything. That would be the enlightenment. You have to enlighten yourself before you have any comprehension or understanding of the knowledge that is enlightenment for the all. Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk to you again. And I'll continue to do it. Because my life has a purpose. My life is... all my life is about is to find a meaning to that purpose. That's what it's about. The purpose of life is to find meaning, and the meaning of life is to find purpose. That's what I've been doing. That's what I continue to do. First, I had to face my greatest enemy, myself. And I continue to do battle with my greatest enemy, myself. And in doing so, I can see the enemies of light in all their glory. And I do not shy away from them at all. I do not shy away from them. I've told you before, in my time I've done what you will know as exorcisms. In my time, I was young and naive and probably took on more than I should have done. But I learnt then that because my intention was pure and honourable, then those from other realms of life, other dimensions, other realities, stood with me to battle those demons and that darkness. And because I've done that, I've been able to battle the demons and the darkness within me and continue to do so in order that I may illumine myself and seek to shine that light. I go where angels fear to tread, because I'm not governed by material things. I'm not even governed by fucking spiritual things anymore. I used to be. Not governed, but, you know, I thought the spirit was the be-all and end-all. It's not. It's just another part of the illusion, the control, the matrix. To become consciously aware of the self is a journey and a lesson that we must all undertake. And only then will you ever experience wholeness and then oneness with all that was, is, and will be. If you're not willing to do that, then they keep sucking your energy, utilizing your energy in a way that they explain to you in the Matrix. You're just a battery. You're giving away your power. You're always giving away your power. Who you're giving it away to? Everyone and anyone that can see your weaknesses and seek to profit off them. That's what you're doing. You might think you're big and hard, and you might have a fantastically sized ego. But trust me, if that is the case, you're your own worst enemy. And you will forever be your own worst enemy until you turn within, fight your own demons and shadows, and then see those demons and shadows outside of you for what they are. But me, when I've opened my eyes to it, I thought I knew it. Many times I thought I knew it on this journey. From first stepping into a spiritualist church, then first starting to walk a spiritual path, it is nothing compared to awakening to the true self, consciously, transcending this mind, this ego, this body, greed and avarice and all those things, transcending the spiritual self to the true self. Nothing compares to it. And although I talk about mine, you'll never be able to understand it, comprehend it, resonate with it until you've done it yourself. You have to do it yourself. When you're prepared to battle yourself, your demons and your shadows, I will stand with you.